We are back. So, as always, every single week we got an action packed show. And this week we have another guest who is no stranger to danger, Mr. Junior Gilpin, coming in from 800 Tech. And we're going to be talking about cybersecurity that many businesses completely overlook. The SaaS tools that you have signed up for, you've connected, tested, and forgot about, but you never actually disconnected. So, we're going to be diving into SaaS alerts, and we're going to be exploring how unused application, abandoned logins, old integrations, and forgotten cloud tools can quietly create serious security risks inside a business. From things like data exposure to access issues, this conversation we're going to be diving into why visibility of your inventory and control of your SaaS environment is no longer going to be optional. So Junior's joining us from 800 Tech, and he is a senior cybersecurity engineer over at 800 Tech. Junior, and he's also in Yard, or are you in Yard right now? Or are you in Bahamas? Where you at in the world? Where you at in the world?
I'm finally back home in Westmoreland, Jamaica. It's actually first time here since the hurricane. So my guys actually set me up with a nice little home office. So yeah, I'm back home.
Hey, wow! Since the pandemic.
Yeah, no, well, since the hurricane because I,
Oh,
I
sorry,
made
since
I
the
mostly
hurricane.
yeah,
Sorry,
I
that's
mostly, I
hurricane.
mostly
Sorry,
stayed in
pandemic.
Kingston.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
mostly stayed in
yeah, yeah.
Kingston, but between Kingston and Trinidad. So kind of be back home with my family and thing for a while, but I'll be
As
back
we
in
talking.
Trinidad in a few days because we have a lot of events and stuff coming up that we need to get done. So I'll be back shortly.
You see, and one thing I like about Junior is that, and Junior and 800 Tech is that Junior's role is remote. Junior can work from anywhere and get the work done. And this is something that we talk about all the time on the program. The world has changed, folks. There's way more opportunities to start upskilling where you can get jobs like Junior at 800 Tech. And yeah, if look, hurricane happened over here, but guess what? He can go and jump on a plane, go somewhere, and still get the work done. So
Definitely,
we have
definitely.
again, something that everybody should be taking a look into. But we want to get into today's topic. So, this is something I never really thought about. SaaS tools that we've registered, connected, forgot about, and that now presenting a cybersecurity risk because I'm here thinking to myself, as soon as I saw the topic, I'm like, I don't think I've used most of my integrations into my AI tools. But as the integrations came out, I ran, connected everything, and half the thing. So I'm already probably going to be guilty of this entire conversation. So, for starters, what exactly is a SaaS application and why has SaaS become such a massive part of modern business infrastructure?
All right, so let's take a step back to software development, which is something 800 Tech does a lot of, right? Um, Traditional software development would require us to create a program and deliver a executable to the client. However, most of these developers now basically develop these applications and host them. So what they're doing now is selling you a subscription to that application basically. So software has moved from installing a program to basically accessing your application via a web interface or via some front-end platform. So the software development has moved from traditional software development now where you have to basically subscribe for a lot of the programs and application like Microsoft. You can't install Microsoft Word anymore. You have to buy Microsoft 365, which is the suite of Microsoft services. Same for a lot of other applications. So that is where the challenge comes in. But one of the things I want to basically debunk is it's not just a cyber risk because we tag it as a business risk because what it does is you have a lot of times that persons subscribe to a lot of these SaaS and the company is being charged, but it's not being used. So when
Mm,
our staff application tell us that, listen, this company is running, let's say for example, Jira, but then they have Basecamp. So they're running two project management software. They're being charged for two, but one is being used and one is not being utilized. So you
yeah.
find the company telling out hundreds of US every year paying for a software that nobody really uses.
Mm.
So our application now will track the software based on the email address, the business domain. So whatever your email address at Freedom 106 would be, we find all of those emails that's associated with Freedom 106 and all the SaaS applications that they're tied to, and then basically give our clients say the information to say these are all the applications that your accounts are being used on. Do you have knowledge of these? And then we can now go and clean up all the old unused applications that are being subscribed for or being paid for, basically.
Gotcha. Curtis.
Listen, I am trying to know. My mind is running a million miles a minute because the amount of times I would have integrated some form of a software, just doing my regular daily stuff as well as for my own business. I don't even know. As well as it's years now that this has been happening. And I have never unintegrated anything. I don't even know how to. I just give permissions and access. I don't that's just how I think it goes. I never thought about once about which company still has access to this, and I don't even know if they are compromised. And now I am compromised. So right now I'm slight panicked and have some anxiety happening. I have to run home and try to figure this out. So help us here. Help us here.
Well, the thing is, you have 800 tech at your disposal. You can just give us a call and we'll assist you through the process. Because the thing is, as you said that, I remember getting some notifications last week and I asked one of my coworker if he can recall setting up any data center for a client in Japan. And he was like, Japan? I'm
Mm-mm.
like, yeah, getting access requests from Japan. He was like, nah, we need to check that out. So these are the kind of things that you have to basically worry about.
That's crazy.
No, you know what? The thing is, you're absolutely right. And then Curtis added on that this happens just over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've started to see maybe within like the last 2 or 3 years where Google themselves have been trying to assist where um, if there was a platform that was hacked and information dumped online, you get alerts, and Google would say,
Yeah.
"Hey, your email address and your password was part of a compromised data bunch, whatever," and then it'll tell you which website was the website that was compromised. So then you can go and change your password. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But Junior, you see this stuff happen every day. Um, how bad of an issue can this cause your business? So forget the regular people. How does this impact your business?
All right, so as I said, from a financial standpoint, you lose thousands, millions of US in subscription because you don't know that these applications are not being used. You have no proper inventory, right? Secondly, as you speak of data breach, oftentimes there are third-party vendors with access to your information that has been breached. But because you are not aware that your accounts were being used to subscribe to that platform, you didn't take it as anything. You may have gotten the notification, but you may have bypassed it because you are not aware that your accounts are being used for stuff like this. But the one for me that's really thrilling is like going on the dark web because our SaaS tool is integrated with our dark web tool. So what it does, once those email accounts are exposed on the dark web, it basically gives you username, password, and stuff like that. And when you look at some of the times, it will highlight like the first five characters of the password. And Karen, between me, you, and Curtis, we can guess the other three characters based on what we saw. So you know there is a problem.
Karen,
Wow.
I am here thinking about how many subscription services I use for my business and personal. And Junior, one of the most difficult things for me to find out or figure out or follow is which one is still connected and I don't know because I use Apple and that makes it worse because all you see is an Apple payment happening. So an Apple payment just took a payment of $10. You can't figure out So my wife and I, we have to sometimes sit down and try to think back and try to figure out which company is still attached that just every single month is just pulling payments and we don't even know. It's something that we would have signed up for 3 months ago for a free trial, and all of a sudden somebody free trial is putting a whole annual payment just like that. Yo, it's wild when you not tracking these things or you don't have a system to be able to track it. We feel like it's like a wild goose chase every single month in because something is going to pull that we just can't remember or track. That's crazy.
Well, it's not really crazy when you look at it because I'm in technology, right? And us IT guys have a phrase that we usually say. If you want to go homeless as an IT personnel, just leave a virtual machine on in the cloud. That will
Hmm.
run you, because remember, it's paying for compute
Right.
resource, it's paying for memory, it's paying for storage and all
Right.
of that. So you're basically paying a monthly subscription for something that you're not using and you totally forgot that it's there. But every month,
Hmm.
30, 40 US is being deducted from your credit card for a server that you spun up to basically test something.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
I'm saying
Wow.
it does happen to the best of us. And imagine you do that for a business. Now the
Yeah.
business is being charged monthly, but because they know that they have a subscription with AWS or with Microsoft or with Google, they are not paying attention to the fact that they are paying for some virtual machines that are not being used at all. These are
Hmm.
decommissioned, but they are still online using storage resource, using all of that when you could have
Yeah.
basically archive the storage and take them offline. So it's both a financial risk and a reputational risk in terms of being breached.
Wow. Now, as we talk, let's dive on the security side of things. So how do employees accidentally start creating security risks when they start signing up for tools like the Canvas, Notions, ChatGPT, CRMs without IT oversight inside of the business?
So that's a term that we use in auditing that we call shadow IT. And this is where organization give department the permission or oversight to basically purchase software on a department level. So you find the project department using Jira for projects, but then the IT department is also paying for Jira using Service Desk. And then you find out that the security team is using Jira. So we're paying for three separate subscription on the same program from three separate
Mm,
departments because of how organization are structured, basically.
siloed. Oh yeah.
Exactly. So when we have overarching organization like 800 Tech that basically oversees all of these operations, what we will then do is look at all the application that you're paying for, and we realize that a lot of them is doing the same thing. So what we do now is we reach out to your vendor and find out if this application offer these feature and find a way to consolidate. So now you're paying for one application instead of four, five, or six to do the same thing.
That's actually very helpful because as you said, many of the organizations are siloed. Lord only knows how many people are paying for an individual Canva subscription
Yep. Yep.
because they don't know that the other team is, and they could end up getting a group rate if there was somebody managing all of that as well. Is this something like, I mean, for the people that are thinking about this, is this something that they teach in school, like in terms of, like, because I feel like cybersecurity, it's changing so rapidly, right? Where do people where do you guys keep up with what's going on right now? And again, I'm just thinking about, we have
All
so
right,
many
all
people
right.
in
So
cybersecurity.
here's the breakdown, right? So
Yeah.
our our team is based on information technology, IT specialists, with basically ground up IT personnel that are specialized. Now you have persons that don't want to do foundational IT but want to specialize when they do see something come up, you can't properly troubleshoot it because from an IT perspective, there are stuff that you would not know. So we have been in
Mm.
the game for years doing the installing, doing the uninstalling, doing the antivirus scan, creating the networks, installing the server. So now we're at a point now where we have vendors like Microsoft and Cassia that is offering us training on a lot of these platforms. So whenever we have a lot of international vendors that we partner with, because we
Mm-hmm.
also have our upcoming quarterly cyber brief that we have, where we invite vendors or our partners to basically speak with cyber executives. So like the 24th of June, we'll be having our next event where we invite business leaders to come and hear from industry professionals, not just 800 Tech, because you don't have to take our word. We can get somebody from Microsoft or Kessia or Cisco or wherever to come and give you that information. You
Yeah.
understand? So that's how we keep up to date, because we have these partners that once there is something new out there, they try to inform us to say there's a trend, and we try to
Yeah,
get
gotcha.
ourselves up and the knowledge that's available.
Curtis.
No, Junior, no, we live in an age where so much of what we do is remote work and hybrid, and everybody talks about, your tech stack. Like, what's your stack? Some people, we talk about your AI stack now. Like, what are you using? What's your group of software tools? But every single one of these tools require you to sign in now and give full access. They always full access to read your emails, full access to do a whole heap. So we are now managing stacks of software that all have permission. Now, how important it is, or how that could be dangerous at all if we're giving all of these stacks of software permission, and what happens if we just leave it unchecked, and just move ahead with life?
All right. So in an event where we give an app permission, for example, Microsoft, Google often does it. To sign into other platform, they'll say use your
Mm-hmm,
Facebook account, use your whatever to sign in, and you give permission. Now, in an event where you use, let's say, your Microsoft account, your work account as an authenticator for a third-party
mm-hmm,
application. If that third-party application gets breached, you already gave that third party full access to access your emails and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
Those third party, you normally just use automation or AI, which can just reverse and basically be in your email in matter of minutes, if it is that's the intention. So we
Right.
normally tell persons to kind of refrain from doing that. And then
Mm,
one of the things, our tool, what it does is all these SaaS platforms, it basically controls all the permissions. So from our single pane of glass, we can determine what application can do what, and what application can be accessed where. So for example, we have clients that are based in Trinidad, right? And once access to any platform is tried outside of Trinidad, it automatically rejects it and give us a notification to say that, hey, somebody tried accessing outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So that geo fencing is also available within the platform amongst other
mm.
permissions we can control. Because even the first time I came back to Jamaica after the hurricane, my boss got a call that somebody is logging into the system from Jamaica. So he just laughed and said, yeah, he's Jamaican. So and we have partners that are on the ball with these kind of stuff. So just reach out to 800 Tech if you want to get some of these stuff sorted out.
No,
No,
and one more question there,
go ahead.
though,
Yeah.
right on that point. Now, how do companies even start to audit? Is it they need to figure out what's actually connected and what's not, and which employee is connected or which device where? How do they start that audit? It's easy if you had a regular business where it had products and just walking through the inventory, but when it's digital now, how do you
So,
start
so,
that
so,
audit?
so that's the thing. When it becomes digital, it's no longer a manual process, and it's no longer a process that you can use the naked eye to see. So
Right.
what we usually do is give our customers, our prospective customers, a proof of concept, like a two-week trial of the tool, to basically pull all the data to show you where all your data is being accessed from. So once we do that proof of concept now, then you'll have a full inventory of all the application and where they are being accessed from, and potentially what permission they are given access to. So this is where organization need to basically reach out to a service provider. And I'm not saying 800 Tech should be your service provider, but I know we are good at what we do. So you can reach out to 800 Tech and I'm sure you'll get it done. So I'm not going to tell you to reach out to an IT personnel because that is usually the problem because one
Hmm.
individual is not able to maintain a proper inventory manually because they try to maintain stuff in their head basically. Because I used to do it when I was in IT and I realized that was not really working. So then I had to move to a tool that can basically keep a proper asset inventory.
Hmm. That's good.
You know, one of the things that to give people an idea of just how many things you are signed into, if you actually like if you're on an Android, I can't think of the pathway on Apple right now. Forgive me, it's midnight here. But Android, all right? If you actually go into your settings on your phone and you go to there's a section in your phone called Google Password. When you click on Google Password, it's going to show you every single website that you are signed into right now. And it's going to show you all of the passwords that you have created and use for that specific website. Now, I say that to say because, again, as we're talking about auditing our stuff, it just dawned on me. I'm like, man, let me see how many things I'm signed into right now. Curtis, guess how many?
I don't know. Right. I would say let's go with 15.
Hey,
No, no, no.
it's about 100 websites, about 120 websites that I have signed into with my Google account because you're just seeing all
Unbelievable.
the websites
Sign in, sign in, sign in.
sign in, sign in, sign in, sign in, sign in, right? And again,
Unbelievable.
and that's just my personal account. So
Yeah.
now I swing this to you, Junior. If I alone, and I'm a solo act. If I have 120 websites that I'm signed in on with my password right now, what happens when you're an organization of 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, and everybody is
Craziness.
signing in to websites all over the place, and some of them are using their I mean, it could be business, it could be software, it could be SaaS tools, exactly what we're talking about, and
Hmm.
SaaS tools that you've just signed into over the years. Junior, what does the security risk look like when you got 50 staff and that 50 is signed into 100 different SaaS tools? How bad is the risk at that point?
Well, the risk of exposure is very significant. Risk of being caught in a breach is also significant because from our dark web tool, for a lot of our clients that we do dark web monitoring for, we realize a lot of the larger clients are usually the ones that are exposed more on the dark web with because persons basically sign in and what they do is they'll tell you that this was found in a combo list. Now, what a combo list is probably somebody going on one of these third-party application and some information, going on somewhere and put information. When they correlate it, they realize that they've pulled two or three different sets of information for you with the same username and the same password on multiple websites. So what that will give them now is the idea that whatever you sign in on, you'll use the same username and password. So they'll basically sell that to the highest bidder because it's a business account.
Wow.
And these things is where you find persons using these accounts for VPN access. Because what if that person is a VPN user within the organization? Now you just give me remote access to your entire IT infrastructure amongst other stuff. So it's very risky because even look at SharePoint sites, and we know a lot of businesses use SharePoint sites, right? Now, let's say somebody get access to your Microsoft account and you're in finance or you're in accounting or whatever, and I use that account to log into that company SharePoint site and basically access to all of that information. That's a lot of financial records basically just up in the air. So it's very significant when you look at it. And we can even look at it from even the API standpoint because APIs are still one of the biggest security risks according to OWASP, which is the Open Web Security Application. That is still within the top 10 for broken authentication and poor configuration for APIs, which would involve you having public APIs that is no longer in use, but it's just there lingering basically.
No,
Wow.
Junior, as a business owner who's listening, you see, I think one of the disadvantages to being or having a lot of software or you're operating online is that you cannot touch or see the health of something. You can't tell the health of the entire system. What are some of the warning signs for us to kind of know, is my system healthy? Is it being run properly? Is the governance up to par? What are some of the warning signs or things I would see happening that would tell me, yo, I need to call 800 Tech? Talk to me.
All right, so for example, a common warning sign among some clients, right? We had a client recently that had one of their public facing servers basically, staggering like resource intense basically. So, with that powerful server, we're not supposed to be getting those kind of performance. So that's a clear indication that something may be wrong. We also look at emails where emails are missing. You have a person telling you that they are sending you emails, but you're not getting them and stuff like that. We've had clients
Okay.
where their email server is being pounded by different servers right across the world and stuff like that. So there's a lot of warning sign you'll get, but I don't think if you don't have the right tools in place, a lot of the warning signs you will not get them because let's say Microsoft will send you a notification to say that someone tried to access your account or someone accessed your account, but it will not tell you from where, what's the IP address, what's
Right.
the name of the user. That so our tool will pull all of that information from that computer that was trying to access your system. So that's the difference with seeing what's out there and not seeing it.
Wow. And you know what? You're right. Because as I think about it, if you're driving a car, you have a check engine light.
Hmm.
When you're navigating the digital space, there is no check engine light. There is
That's it.
no, it's not like your physical computer. You have your warning signs of your physical computer. You know when you get a blue screen of death, you know when it starts to lag, when it starts to freeze up, memory low. You get all these notifications that the health of your physical computer is not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is no check engine
Yeah,
light.
but that's the thing. Our SaaS alerts tool is that check engine light because we get also
Oh,
alerts from
sorry.
servers
I meant to say it like
for
if
the
you're doing
public,
this
for the
on your
public.
own for the
Oh
public,
yeah,
yeah. For the
yeah.
public, there is no check engine light, and this is the
Yeah.
reason why you have to call it 800 tech
Yeah.
because there is no check engine light. So to Curtis's question, you're not gonna just navigate the web
No.
and something pop up and you're like, oh my god, something is wrong. And I think when that stopped happening to me, and Junior, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there was a point in time where viruses were, permeating the web, and you could go
Mhm.
to the wrong website and you could attract a virus. But computers have gotten so good. I don't know when the last time I have gotten a virus on I can't tell you the
Mm.
last time. I don't think it's been in the last 10 plus years that I've gotten a virus on
Yeah.
my computer.
But
But
that's the
it's
thing I'm telling you, because we have moved from traditional executable, people are barely installing applications. So what they're doing now is finding other mechanism to infect these SaaS applications rather than sending you
Mm.
executable. Downloading music on Aries or LimeWire is usually filled with virus because back in the day,
yes.
that's what we had back in the days, right? But
Right.
then no, you have like Spotify and these platforms. So what they'll do, you'll get a notification from Spotify to say that, oh, please reset your account. But it wasn't really from Spotify. So instead of sending you a false application to install, they send you a false account. So they're just changing the way how they approach.
I love how you broke that down because you know what, you're absolutely right. You know, we're not installing anymore. We're streaming everything. Everything is or everything is on the web. So you're not going to get the same types of warning signs we would have back in the day when you had LimeWire or Aries. Oh,
Right.
you messed up. you you knew immediately. Bear share was the worst. Bear share was virus share. Listen, Bear share only gave me viruses. I'm convinced Bear share was a tool that you went to get viruses because I've never successfully got a song from Bear share. But there was warning signs there. So now, as Junior just brilliantly broke down, we don't have those warning signs. 800 Tech does. So, Junior, as we wrap up, what is the next event that you guys have for the security brief, and where can people go to find more about 800 Tech services?
All right, so up next we have our midday cyber brief, as I mentioned earlier, for executives, which is dubbed Unseen Activities, Your Biggest Risk, which would be a continuation of what we're speaking of here. Basically, get control before it's too late. And that's on June 24th at 12 p.m. to 12:30. You can sign up on any of our social media platforms. Just basically search for 800 Tech. If you want to call us, it's 223-8324. Or as I said, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, just search for 800 Tech. We are the one and only. So you'll definitely find us.
Love it. Junior, always a pleasure to have you on the program. Listen
Yeah,
to me.
man.
I'm about to go. It's 12 o'clock. I ordering some jerk tonight. I ordering some jerk tonight. Junior, have yourself a good one, man.
All right, definitely, man. Thanks for having me.
Blessings. All right. Well,